The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The Knicks get excellent performances from just about everybody. Deuce McBride, 15 of his 21 in the first quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns tonight had 26. And OG Anunoby filled up the box score with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and a career-high 8 assists as the Knicks crown the Kings tonight, 133-104. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito here along with Alan Hahn. And Tom Thibodeau, Alan, has talked about the fact that the Knicks need help from everybody to compensate for the loss of Jalen Brunson. And tonight they got help from everybody.
Pretty much everyone had a hand in this game. It started with Deuce McBride setting a tone early, but the wings all played really well. Josh Hart, let's not forget what he did. He knocked down 4 3-pointers. The threes were a big part of the story. We did talk about that in the pregame, how basically for the Knicks in the All-Star break, the three-point line has been a deficit for them. Well, they dominated the three-point line in this game, but this was more about, to me, a defensive tone that is continuing to be set on this road trip. What the Knicks have done defensively is exactly what you would expect from a Tom Thibodeau team. Against the Lakers, held them under 43%. The Clippers at 42%, and now Sacramento under 42% when it comes to defensive field goal percentage. If the Knicks are going to do anything when we get to the postseason, when they really want to show you what they can be as a team once they're whole again, defense is going to get them where they want to go, and it's good to see that start to become more of a trend for this team.
Speaking of trends, how about OG Anunoby scoring? For the last 5 games for him, he scored at least 20, and tonight he went for 24.
Yeah, he's been locked in, and when he gets locked in, I always say when his shirt's untucked, when the jersey's untucked, you know something good's happened with OG Anunoby because he was a monster at both ends of the floor in this game. I loved his movement. We talked about this earlier, his ability to get to the basket, but his activity was great. But look at this, just reading. This is a bad pass, reads it, takes it strong, and gets the finish. The Knicks, once again, points off turnovers. 24 points off turnovers. Here's another one as he reads this play, jumps all over Levine, and takes that in for an easy 2 as well. And this was such a great sequence. On this play here, he'll space out for the 3 and knock this one down. On that sequence, the Knicks had a 24-second violation, that steal, and then another 24-second violation. Let's not forget the ball movement from OG as well with the assist there, as he had 8 of those. And then again, just like he gets the ball, and you can see what he's doing. He is looking at the rim. He's looking to attack. He's much more engaged offensively, I think, since the All-Star break. He's been a different player. He's been exactly what the Knicks need. And when you're down a star player like Jalen Brunson, that's the kind of performance you need from a guy like Anunoby, from Bridges, from everybody, like you said, that have to make up the difference for missing on a player like that.
Before we go any further, I've got to mention the three-point shooting. 22 of 40 for the Knicks.
Huge.
That was your stat of the night. They've been outscored by an average of 8 points per game since the All-Star break from 3. They had a plus 36 shooting from downtown, and that really helped as the Knicks go 22 of 40. They tie for the second most made threes in franchise history. Mikal Bridges, he also contributed to the win. He had 8 assists to tie a season high and also had 15 points.
Yeah, and again, from the wings, you're getting the activity you're looking for. And while Bridges wasn't nearly as impactful as he was in the game against the Clippers, he did shoot the ball well, but he doesn't get a lot of shots up. We know he loves that little fadeaway mid-range. That was early on. But remember who he was guarding in this game as well was Zach LaVine. That's not an easy guard for him. LaVine had got 30 points in 2 games against the Knicks earlier this season. When he was playing for the Bulls, he didn't do anything this game. He had 17 points. He had 5 turnovers. So while we're showing a lot of offense and a lot of passing with Mikal Bridges, I want to shout out the defense that he played against the guy who has torched the Knicks this season in Zach LaVine. That's exactly why he and Anunoby, their impacts are so important. You see that intensity, too. You love to see that. But the wing players made a big impact in this game. They need these guys to step up. This is the time of year now where everybody has to understand their role and take it to another level. Josh Hart said it after the Jalen Brunson injury. He said, guys' roles are going to expand. Guys need to step up, and that's what you're seeing now. And they needed these couple of days off after the Clipper game, to just figure out how they have to play now without Jalen Brunson. And you could see they certainly figured something out because Sacramento had no answers for them.
I mentioned Deuce McBride had 15 of his 21 in the first quarter. Knicks, after the first quarter, were up 37-22. Huge start for McBride because he came into this game only 2 for his last 19, and tonight in the game he hit 7 of 11.
Yeah, and again, for McBride, it was important for him to get off to a good start because he had struggled. And you got to understand, the injury happened in one game, and you had 24 hours to play the next game. They put him in the starting lineup. His shooting wasn't there. You hear the crowd. This is on the road. Everywhere he goes, he gets support all around the NBA. And so how could you not just feel comfortable? He found himself in a rhythm. He was definitely in attack mode, and I think that was important for him. I think against the Clippers, he was thinking so much about setting up the offense and setting up his teammates rather than just ball. And that's what he did in this game, and it was a great tone setter because once he started scoring, it opened up the offense, and as you saw in a couple of those plays there, other guy starts cutting, he starts making passes, the next thing you know, everybody's involved.
All right, so the Knicks snapped their 3-game losing streak. We now say hello to Monica McNutt. She helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York.
I'm going to stop you right there, Pito.
What?
Hold on.
What?
I just heard Alan Hahn say Monica was right.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yes, I did. I heard exactly
that
because he said, yes, he did. He said Deuce was caught up in facilitating in the start versus the Clippers, and he had to play with confidence. And what did I say pregame?
That's what Monica said.
You got to be patient because he had to facilitate, and we got to get back to scoring.
Well, I got to tell you, Alan's three-point shooting stat of the night was key. Three-point shooting was, wait.
I was on the offensive side, Pito. Hahn was on the defensive side. Together, Hahn, fist bump. We got it done.
Wonder Twins. Listen, but Monica, that's to me, the way this game started was it just showed you 2 days between games, you just reset, you figure it out, and the way they played, you could tell it was like they just needed that day. It's so hard to go from back-to-back games, you lose your star player, and you got to go out there and play, and you really haven't thought about a game plan. It definitely looked like they figured something out in the 2 days off to say, okay, we got to play this way without Jalen Brunson, because not only did McBride attack, it seemed like Anunoby, Bridges, it seemed like everybody was looking to be aggressive in the offense, and especially, I thought, defensively as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Hahn, because I think that is the part to me that over this road trip we've seen take a step in terms of growing.
Yep.
We had Karl-Anthony Towns after when did we have him for media? I guess we had him after the Clippers game. He was asked about the team's defensive intensity. And I think we could all see OG Anunoby guarding Luka Doncic, OG Anunoby when he had to guard, and Mikal Bridges to a degree when they had to guard either Harden or Kawhi Leonard. And so when he was asked after practice before this team headed up to Sacramento, he said, look, that's the area where we know we have to be better and we have to put a little bit more energy into it. I asked him, had anything changed? Was there any big rah-rah moment that they had in the locker room? And he said no, but we know what we're capable of doing. And so as gaudy as the 55% from the three-point line and the 22 threes is, and we love that, chef's kiss to that, this team has a full understanding that it's going to be its defense that helps them get it done down the stretch of the season. Deuce McBride said that to us on the radio in his post-game interview, and obviously I just shared that Karl-Anthony Towns echoed those same sentiments earlier this week.
Monica, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's just something to build off of because points off turnovers has been a strength of this team even before injuries and everything else. I mean, that was something they really did well. But was there something you saw in this game that looked different that you thought, okay, this is something they can definitely build off of while playing, life without Jalen Brunson?
Well, there was a play in particular, I think I saw it twice that I could think of. One time Karl-Anthony Towns ended up at the free throw line courtesy of it, and the other time he sprayed the pass out from the gut of the paint to the corner, OG Anunoby 3. And it's a little bit of a give and go action that we're seeing with Cat at the top of the key, and then he dives hard. Now look, I will put an asterisk, if you will, for the back-to-back for the Sacramento Kings because their defense since the All-Star break has been improved. But nobody cries over anybody having a back-to-back. That's part of what you deal with in the league. And so I think tonight you saw a couple of different guys get involved in the pick-and-roll action, which is one wrinkle. And then I really love that give and go from Karl-Anthony Towns with him going downhill, whether that is for him to finish or we know that he's a willing passer and we see the ball get out to the perimeter to find those open three-point shooters.
Free throw shooting behind you, Monica.
Yeah, Monica.
Show them the technique that you have shown us that doesn't work so well for you.
Pito, you gotta chill. You know you lying.
All right. Have a great trip to Portland. We'll talk to you on Wednesday night.
Sounds good, y'all.
I've seen her play horse.
I mean, she beat all of us.
I know.